Hello, this is the help video for installing the client software on a Windows machine. So I've just recently added this Sales 004 client. Now it does not have the same status as these other clients. Ideally we want to have this green check mark indicating that we have good communication between the client and the backup appliance. So to get that to work, I'm going to go to the client's software tab. And you can see here the various operating systems that we can back up. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Windows icon there and save the installer. As soon as I've got that, we'll go ahead and run it. And I'll say, yes, I do wish to continue. It'll extract that and we're good to go. Click on Next. You'll have to accept a couple of different user and license agreements. We just click our way through there. If this were a Windows Exchange server or a SQL server, I might wish to check either of these boxes to install these particular plugins. But since I'm not, I'm just going to go ahead in this example and go with the default agent and install. This part can take a minute or so, and unfortunately I'm just going to sit here and wait it out. Hopefully it's not too long though. Okay, so we're done, and we're done, excuse me, and it pops up this new window that says everything's completed. And notice this little checkbox. Make sure that's always checked so that we can run the Revinetix agent configuration tool. I'll go ahead and click on Finish. And a moment later, the RVX config tool opens up. There's a couple of different tabs in here. We'll take a look at each of them. If I were using an Active Directory setup and my appliance, my Revinetix appliance was joined to the Active Directory as well as the client that I'm sitting at, I could use this option and just do a lookup, and the system would go out and find the configuration file and automatically download it. But since in this case I am not on Active Directory, I'm going to manually assign. Here in this example, because it's a machine I've already been using, this information is already populated. So in your case, these fields might be blank. But we'll go through and run this wizard anyway, so we can show you what that looks like. Click on Next. I can choose to automatically locate the appliance or manually enter the appliance information. I'm going to go ahead and go with the automatic option, and if that fails, then I'll come back here and do the manual option. So here actually in the Revinetix offices we have a number of backup appliances, so my list is going to be rather large. You probably only have your one or two or however many you've got. The client, or rather the appliance I'm looking for, is this Test1U. I'll click on that and choose Next. I've got to give it the appliance password. This is the password I would use if I were logging in via the web browser. It will then give me a list of all of the clients. Again, I'm looking for the Sales 004 client that I've added. So I click on that to highlight and choose Next. And configuration saved, and we're done. So the RVX config window sometimes will disappear on you. You'll need to click on, you should find it again in your taskbar at the bottom. So now all the information should be populated. If I wanted to, I could click on this Verify Connectivity. That will send out a little request and tell me whether or not the client can see the appliance. That doesn't necessarily indicate that I'm going to get a successful backup, but it just tells me that the client can see and communicate with the appliance. Let's look at the Service Control tab. If I were on a Windows XP or 2000 or 2003 system, I could check this box and we'll run a system state backup. This is how we would back up various system files or registry information or Active Directory information. If you're using Windows Vista or Windows Server 2008, then or something newer like Windows 7, then this is no longer available. They don't have the NT backup tool. So if you have a question on how to do that, feel free to give Revinetix support a call or send an email, and we can guide you on how to do that. Down here it says Revinetix Backup Agent Service. I can actually control how I'm running the service. By default, I'll just go ahead and stop it here. By default, this service runs as the local system account. It's pretty standard for a lot of services that your Windows system runs. If I wanted to, I could tell it to run as a different account. I just put the cursor in there and type in the account, type in the various passwords to use, and then that's it. If I had done that, I could click on Start again, and it would start back up. This time running as my user account rather than as the local system account. But in this example, again, I'm just going to jump back and go with the defaults. Show you the last tab here. I can click on this Tools tab. This is mostly used for some diagnostic purposes or a little bit of troubleshooting purposes. If Revinetix support wants to do maybe a file comparison, make sure we're backing up everything, we might suggest that you come in here and produce a log file for us so that we can do a comparison and verify that we're getting a full and complete backup. But in general, you won't use this tab too much. Mostly you'll come here to the Service Control or the Appliance tab. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. Well, let's make sure that it did start the agent. So the agent now indicates that it's running. I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. And I'll come back into the client's summary page. And if I look now, my Sales 004 client, rather than what it previously had this before, now I have my green check mark, and I can reasonably expect my backups to run and complete successfully. And with that, we'll go ahead and stop this video. Thank you.